Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Looking at the corner of your eye, so I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath and I say, I'm the one you're looking for. So come on, dance a little dance, take my hand, darling, take a chance. You be my queen, I'll be your king, show you everything that you've been missing, shorty. So come on, dance a little dance, got me in a trance in just one glance. So don't wait no more, I'm the one you're looking for, shorty. Girl, I see you over there hesitating, deliberating, you keep me waiting on a sign, looking at the corner of your eye. So I pick my feet up off the floor, move my hips closer to yours, catch my breath and I say, I'm the one you're looking for. So come on, dance a little dance, take my hand, darling, take a chance. You be my queen, I'll be your king, show you everything that you've been missing, shorty. So come on, dance a little dance, got me in a trance in just one glance. So don't wait no more, I'm the one you're looking for, shorty. I'll be the one you're looking for, shorty. So come on the dance floor and baby show me all your moves, all your grooves, shorty. I got something to prove to you. So come on, take a little chance, got me in a trance in just one glance. So don't wait no more, I'm the one you're looking for, shorty. So come on, dance a little dance, dance a little dance. Come on, dance.
Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning. Kind of a little party in the Java Cafe this morning. It's Testimony Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. And I am excited. I'm going to bring my guest into the room because kept you waiting. I did a little commercial, talked to Props this morning. He was like, yo, you think you can put some of those things in the commercial? And it wound up being 2 minutes, but I put that work in it. So y'all had to endure the 2 minutes. And we'll go over those announcements in just a few moments. But please make sure you share today's cup of Java. This young woman is a momvocate, an advocate. I've known her for a long time. I think the time I remember meeting her first, I think we knew each other before that, but back in the days when she was working at the Whittier Street, let me drink my coffee, Whittier Street Health Center, along with Cindy Diggs, Vivian Smith Barnes. I was at the federal level then working at HHS, and we worked with Frederica Williams, who was, my mind is really going back, but we're going to bring her into the room. Not going to say that many good mornings until later, but I would like to introduce to some and present to others author Yahaira Lopez. Welcome back into the Java Cafe. You are definitely no stranger here, a charter member, supported a lot of people in the education space as a parent when we went into the pandemic, and just you do so much. And so I said to Yahaira, I consider her the same caliber as an elected, as a chief. And when I had the new executive director on for the Boston Public Health Commission, I did say, hey, you're not coming today to talk about mass and CAS, methadone mile, miracle mile. It is just important that we just check in real quick first. For about 10 seconds, Yahaira, you do this work, you move. We're going to talk about the wonderful creative space you're in. But if you could just give us 10 seconds from an advocate standpoint, we heard from the city, but from your standpoint, from the community, what quick update would you have regarding Mass and Cass?
So, just to keep it short, right? The last update I have is we had a meeting yesterday with several different groups. The South End has created the South End. A few members of the Mass and Cass Task Force have created a spin to the task force because the task force has not been meeting. So they've been creating a working group. And so in this working group, you have different community members who are part of this conversation, which include Newmarket, Roxbury, the South End. And honestly, guys, the conversation is expanding past Roxbury, South End, and South Boston. More community members are calling us from different communities because, right, we're talking about decentralizing. So people are like, hold up, what do you mean decentralized? Does that mean it's coming to our hood? So, people are joining the conversation. So we had a meeting yesterday with Michelle Wu and her team. There was several different reporters and also more community members who want to chime in. And so basically what's happening is that the Roundhouse, there's a Roundhouse initiative that may be coming that is medically focused, and it will be ran and operated by the Boston Medical Center. So in this medically focused initiative, they will be working specifically with the individuals who remained on Mass and Cass after the encampments were kind of taken down and asked for people to relocate or getting some form of support. So for those individuals that remained, the city has identified them as people who require a little bit more TLC. Okay. So this medically focused initiative works on that, helping individuals get the medical care that they deserve, getting the, substance use support that they deserve. And the issue is that the community is pushing back because throughout this whole campaign season, and Java, right, that everyone was speaking about decentralizing. And the issue here is not that the community does not want to help individuals. And I think that we all agree that individuals on Mass and Cass need a lot of help. The issue is that we continuously hear initiatives and we hear campaigns that say decentralize, but then you're adding more, but that's not what you were campaigning for. So what a lot of community members are pushing back, they're saying, no, we don't want any more services here. If we're going to decentralize, what other communities or vacant lots are throughout the community that can help us, shoulder this situation, because we've seen what happened in Revere.
Yahaira, stop, because I this isn't the bulk of why you're here today. I just knew, and because you're the same caliber as others that have one, and there's certain things that when folks come in the Java Cafe, we just know them for and have to touch. And so thank you for the update, but I didn't want you to go because you was getting ready. See, she's a mom advocate, period.
Right.
After this period. And so how do you handle, and I need to check in on you first before we go into the book, but on Mental Health Mondays, we ask people to drop their mental health status by using one word. With all the advocating you're doing, you're raising two kings, you ran for office, and then you wrote a book. And so let's start off from a mental health space. How are you doing, Yahaira?
So learning a lot through hearing a lot of the folks you bring in this space is, my word is boundaries. So I'm learning that in 2022, I have to establish very healthy boundaries, because the work on Mass and Cass has taken a toll on me mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Yes, and not to mention that on top of all of that, I'm a mom, I'm a business owner, and I also got a job, y'all. Like, I got a job. So, boundaries. That's my 2022 word, is boundaries.
Listen, I'm not mad at that at all. And so with the you put yourself within a boundary now of a creative, and you wrote a book. Tell us a little bit about why you wrote the book, And you all that are in the room, if you're looking on Twitter, I'm not sure if it showed up there, but I pinned the link to the top. You can get the book now. It's from Amazon. Just check the date for delivery, because I encourage you, with all the technology issues and all these wonderful gifts. This is an Afro-Latina Black woman that is an author, and so supported Black-owned business. And also, well, anyway, you tell us about the book, and then I'll get into my spiel why. And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So this book I wrote literally over 3-4 years ago. I've been sitting on it for a few years because, one, I'm a person who overthinks, right? That's one of my biggest things that I need to work on 2022. I overthink all the time. I'm second guessing myself. So I've held on to it, and I decided to say, you know what, let's just do it. You know, the illustrations are done. I've had several different focus groups. So before I launched this book, I created little spaces where I brought different parents in and friends of mine and said, hey, here is a draft, share your thoughts, give me your ideas. And I did a lot of that. And so, you know, it's been sitting in a cart in a project through Lulu Books. And I said, okay, it's time. You know, I can't stop. I can't overthink this anymore. And also thinking about, we need to discuss disabilities in color. And this is what this book is about, bringing more colorful faces to the disability space, because I can't find books about autism outside of few other celebrities who have children's books that are locally, and they look like my family. So this is why we're here. And, you know, most importantly, again, autism color. We don't talk about disabilities and mental health in the Black and Brown community. And so I want to encourage us to talk about disabilities.
Now, you mentioned, and I mentioned the two kings, and I see your sons, you all are on TikTok, social media. At some point, write your social media in the private chat so I can put that up there so folks can follow you as well, because beyond the book, you do TikToks, you do talks about the space. And so what is your personal experience, Yahaira? You've been very public about and we started talking like this, I believe, 2 years ago, where we said we were going to use the term unique abilities or unique learners. And so can you tell us your personal experience, because you're not just writing from, you know, what you heard, book knowledge, you got some real life experience to talk and what contributed to your authenticity in being an author.
So I'm a mom of 2 boys, 2 amazing chocolatey boys, right? My vanilla wafer, you know, I got a vanilla wafer and I got my Oreo cookie, you know what I mean? So, and so you know, one of my sons is on the spectrum. And so I've been very public about my journey, about parenting a child with disabilities, having to put my career on hold to help my son develop his speech, because, you know, he wasn't developing and progressing the way that I wanted him to progress. And so that's what it is. You know, I have a personal connection to autism, and I know what it feels like navigating abusive systems, right? I know what it feels like working for a system, and then when it's time when you have to go through those systems to get help for your child, and you're just like, wait, oh my goodness, now I understand what my clients are talking about and what they go through trying to get help. And so I'm coming at it in that perspective, right? Because it's not easy being a parent with a child who has a disability. It's ongoing support. It's ongoing meetings. You have paper trails that you have to keep up with so that you can make sure that you're reading progress reports from this year to last year to kind of make sure that you start developing your own level of parent expertise, because now you're an expert, right? You have to learn how to read language so that when you're sitting in these meetings, you actually understand what people are talking to you about before you sign your child's IEP or 504, because those are educational, legal educational contracts, right? So now I have to make sure that this little contract that I sign, you know, that's legal, that they're going to do their job to ensure that my child can read, write, and meet those goals. So it's been interesting. to say the least.
You know, you know me well, and you know that's my word. When I can't figure out how I want to say, or when I do figure it out, and it's just not
Mhm.
come out the right way. So interesting is definitely it. I wanted to ask you. I asked you that question so people know that you're speaking as a mom and not just someone as an advocate is important, but you're speaking. But that's why. That's why you call yourself the mom advocate.
Mhm.
And so, is this book though? For children? Is it for adults? Like what is the target audience of this book?
So the book is all the way up to first grade. And probably even further because again it's disability driven, right? And we have children who are in fifth grade who are reading at a first second grade level, right? So the book is for preschool all the way up until first grade. Specifically is that age group is because that's when the book was written. Literally, my son's a 12, and this book was written years ago. So, and I was thinking of like a theme of like Juju loves popcorn, and kind of like Pete the Cat, So they have theme books, and I wanted to, do a children's story based on different things that my son on the spectrum eats because he's such a picky eater, right? He doesn't eat everything. So when he eats and tries something new, I'm like, yes, yes, like we
Victory.
can add stuff to our menu. You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten all the way up to tacos. We haven't moved past tacos, yeah, but we're getting there, right? And so the book was written for up to first graders. And it's about us, going to a park, and an incident happens at the park. And per usual, his oldest brother, is basically his advocate when I'm not right, readily right there. And so, something happens at the park, and my son, due to
Don't tell,
since
look, don't tell it all. Give us an overview
right.
because we want
So,
folks to buy the book.
incident happens at the park, right? And then his brother speaks up for him and teaches other kids at the park what autism means for my son, his brother. And it's a true reflection of what happens because, there's a part of disabilities that we don't talk about a lot is the siblings that are in the household, right? And sometimes as a parent, I feel so bad that, his older brother's my wingman. You know what I mean? Like I can't do a lot of things without his brother, right? So when we go places, it's like Josiah's tasked with make sure you watch Juju because Juju drifts off. He sees something he likes and he's just gonna walk away. And we're like, hey, you don't just walk away in public places. Somebody can snatch you up, right? And so, it's a true reflection of what happens in my household, where Josiah is like a mini dad to his brother, where he has to advocate for his brother, where he has to make sure that his peers in school are not bullying his brother. They're not making fun of his brother, but still to this day, not knowing how to fully tie his shoes. Or he doesn't like being around certain people, that he won't eat certain things. His brother has to be the one to explain that, my brother has a unique disability. He has a unique learning style.
Not wanting to be around certain people, I wouldn't count that as a disability. That's a
Right.
unique ability. But go ahead. Sorry.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
So it's just, it's a true reflection of what happens. And there's things, we had to throw in some South End and some Roxbury stuff, you know what I mean, to making sure when you buy this book, we're from Boston, right? So it's a cute little book. It's a true story.
Okay.
And again, it's a reflection of our family.
So as you know right now, if people or like from what you're aware, I don't know, knowing you've probably talked to Amazon.
Mhm.
If people order the book, are they able to get it by Christmas?
It will tell you. So
They will tell you.
Amazon, yeah, Amazon is one thing I give Amazon credit for. They'll tell you if you're going to get it by Christmas or not. And I think that this is probably, I think by tomorrow is the last time that you could order to get it before Christmas. And if you have Prime, things are different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely just hit the link. The link will tell you if you're get it by Christmas.
Okay. Yahaira, there's a couple of comments in here that I wanted to share with you. Heidi Lewis Ivy, who's also an author. She's going to be one of our vendors on Saturday. If you're around, Yahaira, come through, bring the books at the Java Cafe. And also Pastor Marion is saying, thank you, Yahaira, for your example of parenting and negotiating for your children, which is so interesting. And I get where Pastor is, but the fact that you have to, yeah, we both heard that word negotiate. I know what Pastor's saying, where she's coming from, but the fact that you have to, is so interesting.
Right.
And so there's another author in the room this morning, Cheyenne Roseborough, some perspective authors in the room as well. Tasha Carrington, excuse me, you still got me messed up when you called your sons. What did you call them? The vanilla wafer?
Yep, the vanilla wafer and my Oreo cookie. Yep.
I still haven't fully recovered from that. But Yahaira, it is just dope to see you be able to go from being, you weren't a peer leader. I think you were like a manager or senior peer leader, supervisor.
With David. It was me and David that was running the peer leadership program. With David Jefferson, yep.
What's up, Davo? We need to get you in the room again too. He's doing big things with the city. Davo's quiet, but he's making some major moves with the city. And so I need to say that I am very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of the work that you reinvigorated. There was work. We both talked about this. There was work, prior to you pulling us out. What it's going on 2 years ago, Yahaira?
For the Master Casa?
Yeah. It'll be 2 years. It's
going to be 2 years this year, coming up year. Yeah.
So, and yeah, we shut down, and I will always say we shut down the exit off of 93. And so that night, man, I had tears in my eyes. But anyway, I really appreciate the ability for you to be able to move in different spaces and then come here, because this is something I purposely asked you if this was for children or adults. I'm going to push you to start saying it's for both, because I believe that there are lessons that can be, yes, it's written that it's elementary, students level, but from what you were saying, I definitely can see where some adults can glean some life lessons and some more education from this. And so if you are, and folks are cracking up, vanilla wafer, if you are definitely looking for a gift for your children, last minute, and give them something that's going to help them understand culture, give them something that's going to improve their reading skills. And also you're supporting a Black woman who's an author. And so that is just my spiel there.
And teaching, and you know what, James, is also teaching our kids in a community that they might have a neighbor that has a disability, right? And I think that we don't teach that. Like, so for my kids, they know where we go, they know how to pick up when they are playing at the park with someone that has a unique learning style, right? And my oldest son, 12, will tell you, oh, Mom, is that person autistic? Because I feel like that person's autistic, right? Pick up certain things, because I've embedded in their head is that, listen, if someone is different than you, you don't not play with them because they don't speak well, or you can't understand them, or they're fixated on something that's on your clothes, that they just want to, touch a fabric on your clothes. You got to understand that, right? And one thing I can say about my oldest son is that it brings tears to my eyes, because my oldest son is so well versed on this issue that he will stick up for other kids while we're in parks and be like, no, you guys are not going to say that to this person. This person has a disability. And my son will say that. And I respect that, because it takes a lot from him. And sometimes I feel like I've robbed him from a childhood, right? Because I've had to teach him faster to understand that his brother, if something happens to me, he has to be his brother's keeper. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to have to be his brother's keeper, and making sure that if something happens to me, dad, or anything, he has to hold down the fort, right? And I have to teach him that lesson early in the game, so that he can understand that he might have to make decisions for his brother if something ever happens to me.
So Yahaira, a few things there, and it don't take much to pull me into a interesting as you use place. And one, I would not push back, but I would ask you to expand that lens in he's blessed to be able to have that experience. And I understand everything you say about a level of adult lens and adult experience, but all the fact that he is so much more mature than some of these 45, 50, 35-year-olds out there that may know a little bit, but then don't have the wherewithal not to say improper words and use language. So there's a skill set, sis, that he's getting from this. I know you do your best to make sure they have Black boy joy, and we see on social media, you make sure that they are well balanced. And so give yourself grace. Give yourself grace in the fact that you're giving him a skill, and it's something that you don't know what's going to lend to what he's going to do in life. This is this man's experience. You're in politics. He has this life experience. Oh, how wonderful it would be if he grows up to be the youngest mayor of Randolph, first Black. So I challenge you there and encourage you, sis. And I need you all to do me a favor, because you know Yahaira is like me. She's on social media. I need y'all to put comments, love, hearts, all of that. Put that in there for Yahaira. So when she goes back and sees the support, add what you felt from her today, because when she's up 2 o'clock in the morning wondering, and she can go back and look at these comments and just be, reminded of the great momvocate you are, and also looking for also more books from you. Because there's even an academic. I know some folks are going to start acting up. There's even an academic place in the room. Yeah. So invitations to go to colleges and talk to these social workers that need more than book knowledge. Sorry, you to an interesting place.
No, we're getting there. Here. A lot of the teachers, because, I was at Boston Public Schools for some time. I was at Boston Public Schools for almost 8 years, right? Which is when I had to remove myself to focus on my son, right? Because I was working with other children who had unique learning styles, right? And then I had to quit my job to focus on my son. And my last year at, in BPS, I was in a sub-separate setting, right? So I have a lot of special education teachers who've been hitting me up and bought the book, and a huge shout out to Marie Sweat, who was one of the teachers when I first started working directly in the classroom at the Lee School. She was a kindergarten teacher, and I absolutely love and admire how she delivered her lessons in kindergarten. She did everything based on books, right? Like all her lessons that she created in the classroom were based on a children's literature. And she expanded these children's literatures into arts and crafts, math, science, because a lot of us don't understand that a book like this, you can expand to do so much in a lesson in a classroom. And so I want to give much love to Marie Sweat, a former, colleague of mine who inspired me to really think about education and started my growth in advocating for education.
It's dope that you're celebrating, partnership and support you have there. And I definitely understand that, because we've done it for each other. And then even in this space, even more so the people that support. Another thing I want to capture on camera so we can hold you accountable is what are 3 things that you will commit to doing to ensure you have increased self-care in 2022?
Ooh, so I started with one, which is boundaries.
All right, you're good. Yep.
Boundaries. I want to invest more time with my family because, as some of you guys may know, I lost my abuelita. So I learned that I need to invest and really set healthy boundaries to making sure that I don't miss moments with my family. So invest more time with my family and being there and not being on the phone, trying to run a business, trying to send an email and do 10,001 things while I'm eating dinner with my family.
In the car.
Right. Yeah. So, and then thirdly, saying no.
Okay.
Being okay with saying no. Because sometimes we want to say yes, we want to be available, we want to, be participant in a lot of things, and then we wonder why, we're not mentally fully in the space. So I want to learn how to mentally, spiritually, and emotionally be in a space.
So those are 3 areas or 3 things that I think will help guarantee some increased self-care. Boundaries,
right?
Investing more time with your family, and not just because I think we both have the ability to say no, but you said being comfortable I've been able to say no for a few years now. It's only been within the past maybe year that I'm more comfortable. I'm not all the way there yet because I'll say no sometimes and I'm still like, I wonder how they're gonna feel. I wonder, you know what I'm saying? And so that's real. But I think that hold on, somebody. No is a complete sentence. All right, Pastor Marion, don't start acting up there. Listen, and as Rena says, we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. Donna is in the room. Yes, I supported my son. Read it and shared with his class. The teachers loved the book. I received 3 emails about it. And back to what Pastor Marion said, that this book needs to be shared with Boston schools and church youth programs. And so author Yahaira Lopez, we celebrate you. There's some comments in there that you need to go back and check out and see. And see a Grand Rising, Job with Jimmy family back home in time to
love
see.
You. I love her. I love her.
Listen, hopefully she's coming out on Saturday. I'll do a plug later. But hopefully you 2 guys can see each other on Saturday. But she came out at the first Java Cafe. When I tell you she wore red and black and had some boots that were killers. But anyway, I just want to end with a little bit of Black joy there. Yahaira, we love you. We celebrate you. Again, everyone, the book is pinned in the comments. So if you're watching, you can go. I believe the pinned comment would stay there. Yahaira, you on social media, does the pinned comment?
Yeah, it'll stay there. It stays there throughout the whole time. Yep.
Okay, so if you came back and watched after the live on Tuesday morning and you're just watching in real time, go to the comments. It's pinned there. You can also follow her at these addresses here. Or where did it go, Jesus? At these addresses here, which is at I Am the Momvacate, and also your organization, which we didn't say too much about, Autism Sprinter. And that's an organization. It's a 501c3, correct?
Yep.
So end of the year giving. If you're looking to get let's keep it 100. If you're so blessed and you need to get just one more tax write-off to get this, to get in a certain thing, consider Autism Sprinter, Dee Dee's Cry, Java with Jimmy, through the Louis D. Brown Institute. Oh, there's some organizations you. Anyway, Yahaira, let me get off of here. I appreciate you. I love you so much. I'm going to end with some announcements, and I'll be in touch. I'll be. All
right, bye guys. Have a good day.
You know the platform's here, yeah. So,
all right, see you guys.
Hey everyone, it was definitely dope having my sister in the room and talking about what she's done. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and I need to name and I'm also struggling. You know me, I'll hold the space in a minute. I put up a post, I think it was last night or yesterday or this morning, and I want to read exactly what I wrote because as much as we understand that, you know, death is a part of life for the deep folks, we start dying the day we are born, does not take away from the fact that so many right now in our community are grieving, hurting, mourning, questioning. Pastors aren't able to bury members. Families aren't able to gather the way they usually do in the capacity. And a lot to do with this thing called COVID-19. It does not negate the fact that we as a people, as humanity, are hurting. My timeline is for the past couple of weeks filled daily with transitions, deaths. And even for the people of God that you know, of our faith, we believe that they're, you know, healed. It still does not take away to some extent the sting of missing them here. And so I wanted to share with you all what I shared last night. And this is the sentiment. And I ask you that in your individual prayer times and meditation, that you keep this in mind for our community. And what I said was, God, you know well, and our appointed God, you know well, meaning he's all wise. God, you know well in our appointed time, but provide grace to us as humanity, community, and loved ones. God, hold back the hand of death is our prayer. For those mourning, grieving, and questioning, provide mental ease, rest, and peace. And so in your prayer time, in your meditation time, please find that to be the sentiment. I'm reminded of that from my father. I remember often he would sense the spirit of death is in the land, and he would ask God to hold back the hand of death. And so we have, of my faith, what I believe, we have the ability to petition God and say, put an ease in it. He used to also, Bishop used to also say, asking God to cushion it. We as a society have been through a lot. First world issue to some extent. Let's keep it 100. There are people in the world that are dealing with a lot more. Pre-COVID, in COVID. I just ask you to join me in letting that be the sentiment, part of the sentiment of your prayer. Our pastors, family members, children, loved ones, neighbors. It's a lot. And so I'll name that to you today. Thank you all for tuning in today. I always, when I have to go to a space like that, I have to figure out a way to kind of get some Black joy in there and something. Let me go in and check in the comments and see if somebody messing with me or called me out. Welcome to y'all are so wonderful. Tara, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Let me go check with some folks that I didn't get to say hi to this morning. Props, be quiet. I ain't messing with you, brother. But in all seriousness, everyone, Sharon Cornelius. Good to see you in the room. I'm going to close with the Tara just ordered to see authors among authors supporting authors. That's dope. Tara's an author herself, so go to her page and get the information. We also have Heidi Ivy that was in. She's an author as well. Her product, her collaboration will be available for sale on Saturday. Just a note about that. So I met with the vendor Monday. I met with the chef, and we were just talking about what I thought the numbers were. And he let me know there was like 42 something people there that came in. Some stayed, some left. And so there is a capacity limit. And so I am encouraging you, if you're planning on attending on Saturday, I need you to go ahead and register ASAP to ensure that you have a seat. Those that register will receive a complimentary drink. And also we're going to have some hors d'oeuvres prepared by Chef Ollie. And so please be prepared to also come and buy some food from the underground. When the Java Cafe, the cadence that I want when we do these lives, in whatever venue we find ourselves in, we make them run out of food. I want the cash register bills, or maybe you don't do cash, but we want to support the Black-owned business. So there's complimentary things that are coming as my gift to the Java fam and those that support on Saturday, but you must register. All right. That is it for me today. We're going to go and end with this commercial. And I think that is it. Today's Tuesday. I will see. Listen, tomorrow morning. Well, you'll see it in the commercial, but I have to give some commentary. Plan on coming in the room tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're going to talk about the 2nd Suffolk District race with one of the candidates, State Representative Nika C. Elugardo, who's going to be in the room tomorrow. Liz Miranda is scheduled to come in on Thursday, December 23rd. And Thursday, we have Tanya Anderson, who is the new District 7 City Councilor. And also on Friday, we have Gina Cristo and Chip Gonis coming in the room. And so you'll see that in the commercial. We will see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eyes. So I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath, and I say, I'm the one you're looking for. So come on, dance a little dance. Take my hand, darling, take a chance. You be my queen, I'll be your king. Show you everything that you've been missing, shorty. So come on, dance a little dance. Got me in a trance in just one glance. So don't wait no more, I'm the one you're looking for, shorty. Girl, I see you over there hesitating, deliberating. You keep me waiting on a sign, looking at the corner of your eyes. my feet up off the floor. Move my hips closer to yours. Catch my breath and I say, I'm the one you're looking for. So come on, dance a little dance. Take my hand, darling, take a chance. You be my queen, I'll be your king. Show you everything that you've been missing, shorty. So come on, dance a little dance. Got me in a trance in just one glance. So don't wait no more, I'm me, I'm more. I'm the one you're looking for, shorty. I'll be the one you're looking for, shorty. So come on the dance floor and baby show me all your moves, all your grooves. Shorty, I got something to prove to you. So come on, take a little chance. Got me in a trance and just